The entire boardroom fell silent the moment Emily placed her employee badge on the polished conference table. 3 years of arriving before sunrise, leaving long after sunset, sacrificing weekends, birthdays, and every vacation had led to this single moment. She didn't cry. She didn't argue. She simply looked at the men who had promised that hard work never went unnoticed, then quietly turned toward the exit. But before the elevator doors closed, the billionaire CEO who had just promoted someone else suddenly stood up and ran after her in front of the entire company. By then, however, Emily had already made a decision that would change both of their lives forever. Before we continue, if you believe kindness, loyalty, and second chances still matter in today's world, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who needs encouragement, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us bring more emotional stories that inspire millions around the world. 3 years earlier, Emily Parker had walked into Sterling Global with nothing except a second-hand briefcase and a determination that couldn't be measured on a resume. Raised by a widowed father who spent his life repairing old cars just to keep food on the table, she had learned that respect was earned through consistency, not words. While others complained about impossible deadlines, Emily quietly solved problems before anyone even noticed they existed. She never chased recognition. She believed excellence would eventually speak louder than ambition. Her manager, billionaire founder Daniel Sterling, noticed her almost immediately. Although he rarely complimented employees directly, he constantly handed Emily the company's most difficult projects. Every failing department somehow found its way to her desk. Every struggling client was assigned to her. Every impossible deadline became her responsibility. Month after month, Emily rescued accounts worth millions, rebuilt damaged customer relationships, and even prevented a major financial disaster after discovering an accounting mistake that could have cost the company enormous losses. Her co-workers admired her. Some even depended on her. But promotions kept getting delayed. Whenever people asked why she remained patient, Emily smiled and repeated the same sentence her father had taught her years ago. Real success wasn't about climbing faster than everyone else. It was about becoming someone no one could replace. Unfortunately, the corporate world often rewards appearances before character. One Monday morning, rumors spread across headquarters that Daniel was finally announcing the company's new director of operations. Nearly everyone believed Emily had already earned the position. Even department heads privately congratulated her before the official meeting. She wasn't expecting applause. She only hoped the years of sacrifice had finally meant something. The entire company gathered inside the executive conference room. Daniel walked to the podium, thanked everyone for their hard work, and proudly introduced the newest director. It wasn't Emily. Instead, the promotion went to Vanessa, a charismatic executive hired only 8 months earlier from another corporation. She had impressive credentials and strong presentation skills, but everyone inside Sterling Global knew who had actually carried the company's biggest responsibilities for years. The applause echoed across the room. Emily clapped politely. Inside, something quietly broke. She returned to her desk without speaking. One by one, co-workers stopped by, unsure what to say. Some apologized. Others blamed office politics. Emily simply smiled, packed her belongings into a cardboard box, typed a short resignation letter, and walked toward the elevators. She wasn't quitting because she lost a promotion. She was leaving because she had lost trust. As the elevator doors opened, Daniel happened to glance through the glass walls of the boardroom. He saw Emily carrying the small box that contained 3 years of her professional life. Something inside him immediately felt wrong. Without thinking about appearances, he hurried through the hallway, calling her name. Employees watched in complete disbelief as the billionaire CEO chased after the employee who had just resigned. Daniel asked her to stay. He insisted the promotion wasn't personal. He explained there were reasons she didn't yet understand. Emily listened respectfully but quietly shook her head. She thanked him for every opportunity he had given her but admitted something far more painful than disappointment. She no longer recognized the company she had devoted her life to. Then she walked away. The following weeks became unexpectedly difficult for Sterling Global. Vanessa possessed impressive leadership experience, but she didn't understand the systems Emily had quietly built over 3 years. Clients who trusted Emily personally began moving their contracts elsewhere. Internal communication slowed. Projects that once ran effortlessly became complicated. Problems multiplied faster than anyone expected. Daniel spent long nights reviewing reports. One detail appeared repeatedly. Almost every successful system inside the company had Emily's fingerprints on it. She had never demanded attention. She had simply made everyone else's jobs easier. Meanwhile, Emily accepted a position at a small family-owned consulting firm struggling to survive against larger competitors. The office occupied only one floor inside an aging building. The furniture was outdated. The technology was years behind. But unlike her previous company, every employee treated one another like family. Emily introduced simple improvements that required no massive budget. She listened carefully to employees before changing procedures. She encouraged teamwork instead of competition. Most importantly, she remembered everyone's names, birthdays, and personal struggles. Within a year, the tiny consulting firm began winning clients that larger corporations had ignored. People weren't just buying services anymore. They were choosing people they trusted. News of the company's remarkable growth eventually reached Daniel Sterling. Curious, he quietly attended one of Emily's public business presentations. Standing unnoticed in the back of the room, he watched the woman he had underestimated transform an ordinary team into something extraordinary. Employees smiled naturally around her. Clients applauded with genuine appreciation. Success followed her because people felt valued, not managed. For the first time in years, Daniel realized he had misunderstood leadership. He had rewarded credentials. But Emily had built loyalty. After the presentation ended, Daniel waited outside. This time, he wasn't chasing an employee. He was approaching someone who had become his greatest teacher. He apologized sincerely, not because the company had struggled without her, but because he finally understood what she had sacrificed while expecting nothing in return. He admitted that fear had influenced his decision. Investors wanted an executive with an impressive public reputation, and he believed promoting Vanessa would satisfy the board. Instead, he had lost the heart of his company. Emily thanked him for his honesty. She wasn't angry anymore. Life had already rewarded her with something far greater than a prestigious title. She had found a place where her character mattered as much as her achievements. Months later, Daniel made a surprising announcement. Sterling Global completely redesigned its promotion system. Employees would no longer be judged only by numbers, presentations, or executive recommendations. Character, mentorship, teamwork, integrity, and long-term contribution would become equally important. The new leadership program was inspired entirely by one former employee who had quietly changed the company simply by leaving it. Emily never returned to Sterling Global. She didn't need to. Sometimes the greatest victory isn't convincing people to appreciate your worth. It's finding people who already do. If this story touched your heart, please support the video by liking, sharing it with your friends and family, leaving your thoughts in the comments, and subscribing to the channel for more inspiring stories that remind us kindness and integrity still matter. Special request, before you leave, tell us in the comments, what would you have done if you were in Emily's place? Would you have stayed or walked away? The most valuable people are not always the loudest, the most connected, or the most celebrated. Often, they are the quiet ones who keep everything together without asking for recognition. And when they finally choose to walk away, the world doesn't simply lose an employee, it loses the heart that was holding everything together. Sometimes the greatest promotion life offers isn't a new title, but the chance to discover your true worth somewhere you are genuinely appreciated.